A very good morning, Sporty Monday, because this is on TV, and of course we have lots lined up for you. The panelists are quite upbeat. One of them tells me Surambaya Rosafi. We'll tell you who that is, but of course we have lots of stuff lined up for you. My name is Isaac Swila, and right now let me bring in my panelist, Steve. Not Steve, rather, but Fred Arocho. Habari asubuhi.
I know why you're referring me to Steve. But I'm okay. I had a lovely weekend. We are progressing so well.
So well.
Yes.
You and who?
As a family.
As
that
a family.
Is Shabana FC, Manchester United, and anybody associated to Surambaya Rosa.
KCB.
At KCB, of course.
Okay. Stephen?
I'm here to understand why Surambaya Rosafi, but it's true. Jamana Rosafi son is a good man. I spent my weekend back at home, Cabras. I shared some little moments with the young talents there. So I'm glad to
be here. Sawa sawa. Ziti?
Yes, Ziti Jameni.
Yes.
Zita Jimoi, I'm happy to be here today. I went to Nyeri, hewa safi, kila kitu freshi, mahindi freshi, matunda freshi. Yani, everything is fresh. Unatolewa kutoka kwa shamba direct.
From the farm.
Yes.
So you, all of you guys had fresh air. He was in Cabras, you were in Nyeri.
Yes.
I don't know where he was.
No, I was around.
He was around. Surambaya Rosafi.
Rosafi.
Yeah, also we have a guest with us today in studio. I'm talking about Mr. Morris Okumu, who is the Vice Chair of the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, the National Vice Chair. He's with us right in studio, and he'll be helping break down the content we have today. But first things first, we ask you today, what, in your view, the question of the day, what, in your view, should the government do to nurture talent at the school games? What, in your view, should the government do to nurture talent at the school games? That's our lead story today. So talk to us by sending your SMSs to 22422, 22422, hashtag Daybreak at Citizen TV Kenya, at Isaac Swila. Of course, we'll be sampling some of them at the tail end of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. The school games, that's our top story of the day. And we saw what happened at the county level, what happened at the regional level. And of course now, it's all systems go for the national school game set for Kakamega next week. Steve, probably I'll begin with you. Agoro Sare Kisumu Day. What do you make of that ruling and of course the competition at large in Kisumu?
I think the platform shows you that this is a very serious competition where there are appeals and counter appeals. This just gives you a picture of what happens probably at the national level, at the Premier League level, at the continental level, where teams take each other for arbitration. And it shows that that is a serious ground for talent. But again, the authorities they gave their verdict, and Gorosare has been given the green light to participate and represent Nyanza region, I think. Kisumu Day say they still have an appeal, or they still have plan B and C to see to it that they are the bona fide representatives of Nyanza region. But that just gives me happiness because there is competition. And if it starts at the grassroots, then nationally we are yearning for top quality talent as we speak. And as I said, I was in Kakamega over the weekend, and I can clearly tell you the ground is waiting for the
ground
visitors.
Is ready.
Yeah, I inspected the ground.
And you felt the pulse of
I felt it. And I can clearly tell you that school games is really uniting counties. And CEC Sports at Kakamega County, Moffat Mandela, saying that they are really upbeat, they are really happy to host such a showcase, and they are ready for it. This is what we usually say, that sports is a unifying factor. Teams coming from the coast, from the north, from central, irrespective of your culture,
Yes.
your tribe, you're one thing. And this is what we should be building coming up even to our political leaders.
Zita,
Yes.
your thoughts on the same?
I think for me, the big boys are not nowhere to be seen. I think because the ruling of like the rules that are there now, whereby you have to register a player. I mean the student online.
The age.
The age bracket. Again, I remember when I used to play the games Apple Nyuma Kidogo. I know Arocho has played football. He can tell you.
Which game did you play?
Which game did you play? I played football. Which game did you play?
I was an athlete. I was a sprinter.
I know Shitera played football.
Yeah.
So you remember those days whereby you can fill in any player that you when unataka kufill in.
Yes.
It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter who is playing. But now we have rules whereby if a team needs a player, whereby if you need someone to come and play for you, you have to be in school for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
And then you have to be registered online as a student.
Yeah.
And then you have to have like the age factor whereby it should be 18 years. So for me, those things they're the things that are eating the big boys, because the big boys knew how to do these things. Ule ni mchezaji mpoa, mwambia kuja hapa. And then there was something that I saw in the beginning of the year whereby the other teams were calling out where for trials if you want to join Form 1 in any school. So I think that is the route that the other schools should go, even the big boys, that is Kisumu Boy and the Western one. I know Western Shenderema won, and I think they have pressure now because they're going to hold even the games. So are they going, it's the first time into the national. And then they're going to do what, to hold the games are going to be held there. So it's a pressure for them, but I'm wishing them all the well, although.
Arocho, before we go to Kisumu, there's this question of ineligibility, and of course we have a guest in studio who will be going deep into that. But what do you make of this? We've seen time and again age cheats, this team fielded ineligible player. What's your thought on this?
Well, I think it's a tight. It's a catch-22. Why do I call it a catch-22? Because teams want to excel, and when you want to excel, at times you're tempted to make mistakes here and there. But I'd like to look at it differently, and I am going to be very unpopular on this set, I believe so, because I'm looking at we need to change the system, the way we do stuff. We've done the same thing, same way, expecting different results. It will not happen. Personally, I think that soccer within the secondary, that is the golden age. Between 14 and 20, in soccer, that's the golden age. That's where we need to nurture. We need to really be very careful who we are bringing up.
Yes.
First and foremost, I think we need to have the best of Nyanza, best of Rift Valley, so that we demystify this cheating, bringing in people who are not supposed to be playing the games. Because time has come that, for example, there's a good player who perhaps did not make it to the national, a very good player down there. How do you bring him into the equation?
Yes.
How will we ever survive through that system? Because the current system for me is promoting schools. It's promoting other than talent. It's promoting Kakamega High School. It's promoting Pumwani High School, Agoro Sare. It's not promoting that particular player. If there is a player who perhaps was playing for Kamkunji, a very good player, who should be, he deserves to be in the national, but he'll not be there simply because of the system.
Hold it right there. And now let's go live to the lakeside city of Kisumu, where James Okoth is on standby at our Kisumu studio. James, a very good morning to you. If you can hear me, you covered the games last week, the Nyanza Region School Games, so to speak. Probably break it down for us, James.
Thank you, Sula. Thank you so much. Just as you said, I covered the Nyanza Region's sports championships in Siaya County. And from what I deduced, Sula, there are so many interesting outcomes that I saw during that coverage, where Yala did their first debut in that level of the games. Of course, St. Mary's was a school of interest given the history of the coach that had them during those games. You know, the coach from former school Barding, he is known for scaling the heights of, getting the good results out of the boys. So we really had a lot of hopes and we were looking forward to seeing Yala breaking the norm. Where the norm I mean, Kisumu Day always representing the region in the Nyanza, in the national category. Otherwise, just like football, different results, different times. Agoro Sare went beyond their expectations and did their best to unseat the normal Kisumu Day. So what came out of it, let me not first dwell on the Kisumu Day Agoro Sare. We first look at how other schools like Nyakach Girls did. Nyakach Girls did a good display in their first win where they did 12 goals and they were pretty doing well. But you see Luak Girls also came forth and as we speak, Luak Girls will be representing football girls in the nationals. Of course, it was a success event, but just like my other panelists are saying, football cheating was imminent, and even as we speak, we all know that Kisumu Day was determined to playing in the nationals, but because of the win during the penalty, they went ahead and did an appeal. Of course, they lost an appeal, Swila, but up to the latest, that thief is still on. I had a quick interview, an exclusive interview with the Kisumu Day head coach, Buka Odhiambo, and this is what he had to say.
During the case at the Regional Director of Education's office in Nyanza, I lost the case. Their basics, why I lost the case, they were saying that Usenge never released this player to Dagoretti. So Dagoretti was using this player illegally. And I wondered how a school can use a player for 2 years illegally. So according to them, Dagoretti was using this player illegally, and therefore they could not accept the documents that I had from Dagoretti High School. Even though I lost the case, in my culture, we say that you cannot compete with an elephant in defecating. The waste from the elephant can cover you. So if you find an elephant is defecating somewhere, you move to a different area and defecate there. You can't compete with an elephant. So even though I lost the case, I have a plan B. I also have a plan C. But the problem I have is that during the championship, I revealed my plan A earlier. So they found how to counter it. Now I have a plan B, which is now my secret weapon. So before the games start, people will be surprised. And that is my plan B.
So, Swila, that is how the situation stands as at now. The national games will be played in Kakamega in August from 6 to 12. It's a wait-and-see situation as we near those dates. Swila, back to you.
Wait-and-see situation. That's our very own James Okoth breaking it down for us from the lakeside city of Kisumu, of course, in our Kisumu studio. He covered those games every second, every minute of it last week. Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen, you've had Okoth bring in rather an interesting perspective, and you've seen Kisumu Day coach there. Speak about it. Maybe Zita, I'll hear from you maybe. Your thoughts on this saga?
I just wanted to say that Kisumu, the Agoro has won. They should support the Agoro Sare because it's now representing the Nyanza County. I just wanted to say something about Arocho, what he said about like the nurturing of the talent. Ule kijana mwenye maybe alilose in the group stages and he has a talent. We have club licensing in each and every team that we have here in the KPL. Those are the teams that need to send agents down there because they have to have, each team has to have a youth team, whereby this is the time where they have to go and look for a a youth, a team from the secondary games, because maybe a player is in Form 4, amemaliza Form 4, what next? He needs to be taken from there to go to the youth team because of the club licensing. I think that is the work of the FKF and also the KPL teams and their agents to go and get the talents from down there. Definitely. And today we ask you, what, in your view, should the government do? What, in your view, should the government do to nurture talents at the school games? Talk to us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Isaac Swila, #Daybreak. You can also text your feedback to 22422, and of course, we'll be sampling your responses. Rocho, over to you. Maybe you've heard Zita talk about the back and forth regarding these school games, but next week we are going to Kakamega. The entire country will be Kakamega. Probably, what should the systems do to ensure that these talents we're talking about are not lost?
Well, I think the working relationship between Kenya secondary school sports games and the federation should be enhanced. Other than the fact that I normally see coaches there, but they are there independently. The secondary school association should work hand in hand with the federation, so that in each and every level, there's perhaps a coach who sees exactly what's happened. But there's a very big dealing between the federation and the Kenya Sports Association. The other day I heard that perhaps the chairman will clear that. The other day I heard that they're coming up with an MOU or something of that kind. But that ought to have happened long time ago. Because the working relationship between the Kenya Sports Secondary Sports Association and the federation is quite wanting.
And Zita is on part B of this studio, the scoreboard. Zita, please break it down for us, what you have on that scoreboard.
So we are still talking about the school games, and now we are talking about the Nyanza region, whereby Agorosare are the big boys now in Nyanza region after beating Kisumu Day, that is through penalties. And there was a petition whereby Agorosare won, and again, because there was a player who was playing for Agorosare, but they're saying, but in last year he was in Form 3 in Dagoreti. But again, they are saying the documents had false information, and so Agorosare are the champions again. And then let's talk about St. Mary Lock girls were crowned football champions. And again, they defeated Nyakach girls through penalties again. And then St. Mary School Yala are the rugby champions. Ojiko High School, they're ruling in the volleyball and basketball and national games. They are going to be held in Kakamega. The question I was asking, as I asked you, Swila, with the panel, whereby, of course, Shendarena are the people who have won these the Kakamega region games, and it's their first time to be in the nationals. Do you think they have that power of like holding it up to the finals? Because they are the first. It's the first time to be in the national, and again they are here hosting the 2023 school games.
We're gonna know that, Zita, in a matter of days. Remember when we go to Kakamega. But now let's link up with our guest. I'm talking of Mr. Morris Okumu, who is the Vice Chair of the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, who is in studio. Mr. Okumu, karibu sana hapa Citizen TV. Maybe begin by giving us the perspective. You followed through the discussion, the intrigues and so forth. Maybe your remarks, Mr. Okumu.
Thank you. Come again.
Mr. Kumu is saying you follow the intrigues regarding the school games, which just ended with that's the Nyanza region. We have petitions there back and forth. Maybe probably give us the perspective, your perspective up to now as an association.
Thank you so much. Our games are getting hotter, I'm sure you have seen. I watched the coach, my good friend Buka, speak very bitterly. It is very easy to understand. Those petitions come up because the stakes are very high. The rewards are very high. We are now playing at international level. Winning teams progress all the way to world school games. So the rewards are very, very, very high. So the stakes are also quite high. Those petitions get handled. We are hoping that as we run this championship, we will run out of town anybody who wishes to cheat. Our mechanisms are quite firm, and that's why somehow someone does not get completely away with it. We just looked at the Nyanza, which was very hot. Nyanza was in the media for all the wrong reasons, complaining about a player here and there who was not released when. Our constitution.
And probably, Mr. Okumu, sorry
Yes.
for cutting you short, but allow me to ask.
Yes.
The issue of age cheating has been with us for as long as I can remember, even when I was a schoolboy or a skilled student. But up to now, 10, 20 years down the line, you guys have not been able to tackle this. Probably, why is the problem?
Age cheating is a bigger thing than just schools. Age cheating runs in society. But for us at KSSA, we do not encourage. We actually work very hard to make sure that they don't cheat. And anytime we find a case, it is dealt with studiously. We have put down mechanisms to route it from sub-county level. You know, human beings are very interesting. They always want to get there via the wrong route. And that's what we will not allow. Yeah.
Probably, Arocho did allude to the fact that probably there's a lack of cohesion and probably lack of interlink between the school games, the federations, and probably that's why maybe some of these talents don't make it to the top talent. As an association, have you probably thought of this, and probably what are the mechanisms you guys are putting in place?
Thank you. Currently, for a long time, there's been that disconnect. You know, schools are for sure the nursery and also the natural nurture for most sporting federations in the country. And especially in soccer, for a long time there has been that disconnect. While they get raw talent from schools straight to their A teams of the country and to senior clubs, there have been no structures that tap directly into the school system. Currently, the school system and KSSA have started conversations with FKF. We met the CEO like a month ago, and we are discussing something called FIFA School Soccer, which was launched a week ago in Kakamega. We also have a discussion with the FKF currently on something called FIFA Connect. What Arocho was talking about, getting to tap all these players, not just those who go to the nationals. We have a partnership with the FKF and the Kenya Academy of Sports to ensure that talent right from sub-county is captured for camps that will be run by the Kenya Academy of Sports to make sure we don't leave somebody behind. And should there be someone left behind, very recently, during a launch by the President of the Republic of Kenya, of Talanta Hela, that Hela direction was giving us a feeling that talent, even in Moyale, can be recorded and presented.
And Mr. Okumu, maybe because of time, maybe in a minute I'll allow you to respond to this.
Yes.
Next week, the whole country will be heading to Kakamega, of course, for the National School Games. Maybe brief us on the preparations and what we should look up forward to, maybe in a minute.
Well, Kakamega will be explosive. We were in Kakamega last week to make sure that all venues, playing venues, villages, surfaces are ready. We treat our preparations very, very meticulously. We don't leave anything for chance. We will be back again in Kakamega on 5th before the championship runs proper from Tuesday. That means it's Friday to Tuesday, to Monday. The participants arrive on 6th, sample the venues on Monday, take their correct rest and training, and then the ball rolls on Tuesday. We are very ready. Kakamega is a passionate sports city in this country. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is Morris Okumu, of course, the National Vice Chair of the Kenya Secondary Sports Schools Associations, speaking to us live here on Citizen TV, of course, the perspective on the whole competition and what to expect in Kakamega next week. So make a date with that. Now on to our next story. Kenya Police FC have pitched camp in Nyeri ahead of the 2023-2024 KPL season. Police, who finished third in the ended campaign behind champions Gor Mahia and runners-up Tusker, will be gunning for their first ever silverware. And assistant coach Salim Babu says they have bolstered their squad ahead of the rigorous campaign. Our very own Zita Jemoi caught up with the squad in Nyeri and filed the following report.
I'm a football fanatic. In my youth days, I used to love football. Yeah, I was a fan of the big clubs in Kenya, like Gor Mahia, AFC Leopards, and I was an avid supporter of our national team, Harambee Stars, during the heydays of Marshal Mulwa.
Though barely 3 seasons in the Kenyan top flight, the Kenya Premier League Nairobi-based football club Kenya Police are already sending shockwaves in the competition.
We are going to give our fans the first priority by entertaining them. If we manage to scoop many points in this Premier League, then we might be the champions. We have the best technical bench because in Coach Baraza, he was number 3 in the Premier League. Coach Salim Babu was number 4. So number 3 and number 4 have joined together.
We are looking forward, and my dream and my desire joining Kenya Police is to see that Kenya Police become an icon of football in this country. It's a well-managed team. We want to see that young talent is being nurtured. And also, as a police, we always believe in our hashtag, tucheze tujuane.
Their stint in the top division has been a mixture of results, blowing hot and cold. At some point, they have shown glimpses of competitive side, securing impressive wins, while at times recording shock defeats. But the introduction of experienced players such as Musa Mohamed, Francis Kahata, Harun Shakava, Kenneth Muguna, to mention but a few, has made them a formidable side, dreaming of challenging the KPL title, but this will only be achieved through consistency in performance.
Na nafurahia sana kuona kuna senior players wengi katika timu, na wote hakuna yule mmoja atakwambia kuwa tuna problem na coach. Manake mimi na understand mahali unahitaji kitu gani unahitaji, na understand mahali ambapo mwili imekataa.
Unlike most teams in the top flight who are facing financial constraints, Kenya Police Board has advised an elaborate financial roadmap to ensure the team participation in the league is not hampered in any way.
Professional in our approach. We pay wages on time, we pay salaries and allowances on time, and our allowances are like, we scale them upwards. You know, if you win today, you might get like 10,000. If you subsequent wins, we add 1,000 to the wins. So you might end up even earning 20,000 in a win if you win like 10 matches consecutively. So in Kenya Police FC, the management is so good and thorough and very transparent.
Sisi upande wetu nafikiri pia lazima serikali ingilie sana, tupe support. Tanzania ukienda naweza sema one of the best league in Africa saizi. Tanzania. Naona maana kwa wachezaji unapata wa Brazil, Simba imesajili juzi Brazil, Singida wana Brazil. Naona ukiangalia wa Kameruni, wa Kongo, wa Togo, wote wako pale. Naona kwa sababu gani? Ligi yao imekuwa bora. Why? Sponsors. Kuna sponsors wengi.
And with the new KPL season coming up in the matter of weeks, the club led by the technical bench are not resting in the laurels. They have pitched camp in Nyeri, conditions they say are ideal for the boot camp. Ahead of the new season, they have also lined up friendly matches in Tanzania, their next stop before they return home to compete in the KPL.
I promise you that our fans will be entertained. Yeah, we are going to play total soccer, and men will be happy.
With the appointment of Salim Babu as the new assistant head coach, the club hopes this will inject the spark needed alongside head coach Francis Baraza. They can finally dream of delivering the cherished prize, the KPL title.
I want to believe that this is the team to watch. This is the team to watch.
From the management, from the board of trustees, we're looking forward for the league, even the players themselves.
Zita Jumoi for Sporty Monday, Citizen TV.
Thank you, Zita, for that beautiful package. Rocho, you followed through maybe in a minute. Police have been, quote-unquote, Manchester City of the Kenyan Premier League. Big names there, but they fell short in the ended campaign. Can they really challenge Gor and Tusker next time?
Yes, Police is a team that is going to challenge. And for me, the main strength in that team is Gideon Nyale Munga. That chairman of Police is the guy who holds that team. He loves soccer. He's a very passionate guy. And also, there's a lot of accountability at Police FC. It's one of the teams that receives and can also present to you the account. It shows that there's...
The rest can't.
Yes. We have teams that cannot even show you the receipts of what they received the other day.
But
so once again...
Being rewarded last night, 2 nights ago.
Who? No. For the rewards that were done the other day, I really don't want to come in directly. I don't want to mix with Police. Once again, I will tell you, the strength of Police FC is Gideon Nyale Munga, the president of Police FC.
Zita, you talked with this team. Waswahili wanasema kwamba ulitangamana now, and you feel the pulse of that team. Are you probably confident that they have the gas, they have everything going? Can they actually break their duck and win the title?
For the coming season, actually, you should watch out for them because they are ready. Their guns are blazing to take the title, actually. And then there's something that they have mentioned about motivating their players, whereby if someone has scored a goal, you give them maybe 1,000 or 5,000. You know, they have that thing in them, like you're giving players morale. Next game, I want to score more goals so that nipewe pesa ingine. And I think that's what made even they became Rupia was among the top scorers. He was the top scorer actually in the whole Kenya for now in the history. So for me, that is giving the tokens to the players, making sure that they get payment, they get their payment, monthly payment on time, and making sure that this loophole they had last season, they've already filled it mostly in the midfield. So for me, they're ready for the next season, and now they have the 2 best coaches in the KPL Kenya. That is Salim Babu, who's the assistant coach, and Francis Baraza, who's their head coach. So for me, they have all it takes to challenge for this title.
Well, for me, I'll take it with a pinch of salt, as much as Arocho and Zita are bullish here, and of course Melody of Radio Citizen, I know, is quite happy with that story. And now changing gears, of course, last week, Sports Cabinet Secretary, so to speak, and past Olympians handed over the torch as we begin 365 days count ahead of Paris Olympics that will take place next year. And of course, our athletes will be aiming to do well. And one of them is Ferdinand Omanyala, who is the man to watch, and even ahead of World Championship. And Steve Shitera is ready to break down for us the stats of Omanyala. Shitera, over to you.
I think racing up for Omanyala's preparation for Budapest that will be taking place in Budapest, Hungary from 19th of August to 27th. It is a real test of his time because he's racing to break the record that was set by Usain Bolt. And I believe from the scoreboard, you can clearly see that he's an African record holder, clocking 9 minutes 77 seconds. And this was in September 2021 in Nairobi. He's a Commonwealth winner. He holds a gold in Birmingham Commonwealth Games. He went down to 10 minutes 2 seconds. But again, he's the African champion with 9 minutes 93 seconds. The games that were held in Mauritius last year. And Omurwa Omanyala has a difference of 18 seconds to break, and probably the build-up to Budapest, the World Athletics Championship, will be his greatest test to see if he can bridge the 18 seconds between him and Usain Bolt. He has been doing so well, and he won his first diamond gold, 9 minutes, 92 seconds. This was in Monaco this month. He is the 9th fastest man of all time with his 9 minutes, 77 seconds. And I say the difference between him and Usain Bolt, who is the world record holder at 9 minutes, 58 seconds. Will Omanyala do it in Budapest this month? And Paris next year at the Olympics? Time will tell.
To have a love for the minutes, but basically 9.92 seconds. And Shiter, again, still staying with you, you can see most of those races, he's dipped under 10 seconds. Do you think he can actually win a world championship title, Shiter?
It goes without saying that from his record, sorry for that, it's 9.92 seconds.
Yeah,
Thank you for that correction, and it really stands in very well. Probably I'm gearing him up for longer races, which I believe he can do. Going by what he did at the Commonwealth Games last year, I can place my bet on Omanyala to bring back a medal in this month's World Athletics Championship that will be held in Budapest, Hungary. And probably, if not a gold, I believe he can settle for a silver because the competition is even tighter, bearing in mind that we have African sprinters who are doing so well in the continent.
Thank you, Chitera, breaking it down there. Zita, maybe over to you in a minute. Omanyala, can he finally rule the world in Budapest? We've seen his timing. He's the African champion, the fastest man basically in Kenya, and you saw him win a Diamond League title for the very first time. Can he shine in Budapest?
You know, his work and the spirit he has for what he's doing, it's it tells you what he wants. It's to break the record of Usain Bolt that is there. So for me, I know he's going to do marvelous. Actually, he's going to break his own record when he goes to the champion. So for me, I'm rooting for him. He's going to bring back the gold. He's going to bring the gold home.
You keep telling us your colleague.
Yes, I must refer to him as my colleague. And once again, congratulations, you're flying our flag very high. But I saw Michael Johnson talked about him.
Yeah, actually, it actually tipped him to break the record.
Michael Johnson is just no any other person. He said that this is the first African who will win a gold medal in the World Championship. And I'm going to echo that. Ferdinand Omurwa Omanyala is going to win. And well, somebody might look at it as something that is out of the norm. It's not out of the norm. This is a gentleman who has put a lot of energy in what that he does. He's put a lot of consistency. And once again, guys, I'm going to say it. The Olympic Games, the upcoming Olympic Games, my colleague, Ferdinand Omurwa Omanyala, gold medal.
Gold medal.
Gold medal.
But again, Shitera, look at it this way. Last week, sports years, Bwana Namwamba, and of course, we saw them conduct a mock event right in Nairobi, 365 days to Paris Olympics. And talking of Paris Olympics, of course, Omanyala will still be probably one of the top dogs for Kenya, and of course, Faith Kipyegon and all the other athletes. In that mock event, I saw a lot of confidence from the speakers. Do you think, even as we count 365 days to Paris, can we better our previous record of Tokyo? And what must we do?
Actually, I believe and I still say that we will better the Tokyo record because, remember, we were hit by COVID-19. Our preparations were hampered by COVID-19. But again, I believe we are preparing well. Look at how Omanyala is doing at the Diamond League, the competitions that he is participating in. Faith Kipyegon breaking one record after another in a different race. And this gives us hope that at least we are sorted in so many disciplines. But again, I want to regret that Athletics Kenya have failed to put up structures to ensure that whatever we thrive in, we maintain. Because I see Omanyala giving it a direct replacement to Yego, who really did well in javelin. But again, he will not be at 22 forever. So what has the...
So we need more Yegos coming.
More Yegos to come in and probably open up that discipline that it's possible for Kenyans. Omanyala has broken it into 100 meters, a discipline that we were not used to. And he's doing so well. He's giving us so much hopes that, yes, we'll have a gold at Hungary. Yes, we might have a gold in the Olympics because what he's doing, and as I said, I think I was obsessed by the minutes and the seconds. I think it's 18 microseconds, the difference between Omanyala and Usain Bolt. Yeah. So it is doable. He will do it. I believe, as Rocho has said, he knows him better, but I also know him on what he does on the pitch. But again, the question that begs is, what are we doing to ensure that more talents follow in the footsteps of Omanyala?
Still staying on this story, Arocho, Mark Otieno, another sprinter, we saw what happened in Tokyo during the Olympics. Unfortunately, he couldn't race. He served his sanction, basically. He's back on the track. Probably having Mark Otieno, do you think will bring the best out of Omanyala, like he used to push him?
Yes, Mark has been very close to Omanyala even before the sanction came in, and they were a very good pair when they were competing together. You even remember when we did our trials for the Olympics, the way he pushed him to the tape. But it was unfortunate, and it's good that he's back. I had an interview with him a month ago, and he's quite upbeat. He's so positive, and I'm seeing Mark coming up in a big way, even to try and push away my colleague.
Your colleague coming up in a big way, and of course there are lots of big cash on offer in Riyadh or Saudi Arabia.